Today on People Jam Experts, we have great advice from Dr. Alex Pattakos, who's going to tell us about how we can study and learn from our heroes. Hi, Doctor.
Hi, Rob. Thanks a lot. What I would like everybody to do is, I'd like the People Jam community especially to think about heroes and suspend judgment. I want you to think about either somebody who's a real person in your life, could have been somebody who is deceased. It could be a fictitious or historical character. Could be somebody who comes out of even a cartoon. Could be your pet. Okay, so really think about something that you would somehow put in the category of hero. So that would be kind of the first. And what I'd like you to do in this exercise is not list one, but I'd like you to list three of them.
Three heroes.
Three heroes. So the first part of this exercise is list three heroes. You define what a hero is to you. The second part is, if you put them down on a list, is I want you to list now by each of those. What are the key attributes or characteristics of each of those people, characters, cartoon characters, pets, historical characters, friends,
So it's not necessarily what they did, but it's what makes them a hero.
What makes them a hero in your life. Why do you admire them? Why would you even list them as a hero? What is it about them, all right, that is most important? And so list that. Okay, so that's the second column. And then the third column would be, which is the most difficult one in terms of value clarification, is which of those attributes or characteristics do you bring alive in your own life?
Okay.
Okay, so that becomes a real challenge, because you got to figure out, okay, if this is really important to me, all right, it's a powerful way a message to say, well, geez, I'm not really bringing that type of a value in my work life or in my personal life. The other thing that's important about this exercise, it really works well in pairs, in couples, as well as in groups. Because what happens is, typically what you're going to find is everybody, because we're asking them to bring to light a hero, they're bringing some positive attribute. And so all of a sudden you find people in a room sharing maybe not even the same hero, but the same characteristic, the same value. So some person brings a family member in and describes their characteristics. Somebody brings a pet. Somebody brings in somebody from history. And all of a sudden they might say, hey, I have that hero too. Or if nothing else, they have the same core values. So it's a great team building, relationship building exercise.
You can work alongside somebody for years in the same company, for instance, and never really know what their values are. You would make assumptions by their behavior, perhaps. But it'd be a good thing to do with someone you think you know well. You might discover you didn't know something about them. You may find a new facet, something that really inspires them or moves them in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I've had cases, I mean, it's amazing, but some of the stories, I remember, working with somebody who was known in his work group, this was in a company, as being a very shy, introverted person, and then we did this exercise, and all the values that came out, the people that he admired, were all very proactive, inspirational people. And so we realized that if he really valued that, and we weren't allowing that to happen in the workplace, maybe something had to change. He either was in the wrong job, or the environment had to change to make sure that he could live his values at work, rather than saying, well, I do my values, because he was not seen as a risk taker. And the irony is that he rode Bronco Bulls in his private life. And all of a sudden, people learned about this, because they say, well, how did you come up with this set of values and these heroes? And all of a sudden we realized this very shy, introverted-looking person was really a risk taker in his personal life. And we're saying, well, geez, how come he's not bringing all these ideas in the business? And then once they learned about his values, and they started to align his values with the company's values so that he could actually be more open and learn about the barriers that were preventing him from being his true self.
So in a way, for somebody who's suffering from feelings of let's say frustration or maybe depression, where they're stuck in a spot and they feel like they can't get out of it, maybe one thing for them to do is to sit down and say, well, who really inspires me? Who are my heroes? What is it about those heroes that's meaningful to me personally? What of that do I embody in my life? And if the answer is they're not embodying much in their life, then maybe there's a key there. Maybe that can point to a direction they need to move in order to get out of that depressed state.
Absolutely. I mean, I think getting out of depression in that way, that's probably, I mean, there are other reasons for depression, but in terms of a meaning focus, that's certainly one case. I'll just give you a quick example. I ran across not too long ago a person who just published his first book. He's 104 years old. All right, believe this now. He's 104 years old. He published his first book, and the title of his book, believe it or not, is My First 100 Years. Okay? So is that inspirational? Is he, I mean, think about that. And we're still working today.